Welcome back. It's Within the Madness, the women's side of the brackets. As always, we got Raymond Lyons, Carter Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr., and we're gonna get into some of the women's action today. The late game tonight is actually 3 seed Arizona taking on 2 seed Texas A&M. 48-40 Arizona. There's 4:26 left in the third. That's in the Mercado region, and those are the regions we're focused on tonight. Is Riverwalk and Mercado. Gonna start in Riverwalk. Um, UConn beats Iowa. It's the 1-5 matchup. Everyone's excited. They, for the most part, Twitter watched that all together today, 92-72. McKenna Warnock led Iowa with 20 points. Avina Westbrook led UConn with 17, 9, and 10. The Huskies closed both half strong. Hawkeyes have kind of had an issue on the glass most of the season. Kind of reared its ugly head a little bit, but just want to get you guys quick take on that before we move on.
Gino just said somebody else gonna have to beat us, but Caitlin. Simple as that. He threw his best defenders at Caitlin to make her work all game, and somebody else is gonna have to step up and have big games, and not just average games, but big games. A couple of 30-point performances to beat them. And then it just came down to depth, man. UConn used to playing in these big stage games. I think I saw some, what is this, like 15 straight Elite Eight appearance or something like that. That is business as usual for UConn. The lights don't bother them at this time of year. And they was just deeper, and everybody got theirs. They moved the ball extremely well. I think it was 30 assists. Let me see. Yeah, 30 assists. Whereas Iowa had 18, which isn't too shabby, but obviously 30 assists, that means everybody eating. So who you gonna guard? And trying to guard one person on UConn is already tough. So I just felt like, he just threw the pro strategy in a sense here. Like, Caitlin's not gonna beat us. She's gonna have to work for everything. Somebody else gonna have to step up. And obviously Iowa couldn't do it. And defensively, they just can't match up with UConn. With their versatility, size, and skill. So, second half, they pulled away, and it was business as usual for them.
Ray, if you have anything?
Not much, man. UConn just had too much for them, plain and simple. And they, they really bullied them, like, physically. They pounded them on the glass. A lot of times we saw a lot of Iowa players going down, holding their heads, and they just got beat up, man. And like Cardell said, on the defensive end, Gino, he threw his dogs at Caitlin. Kristen
Williams.
Yeah, Kristen Williams. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart, man. Yeah, she was awesome, man. She had 27 points while playing amazing defense. Then with the versatility, sometimes Aaliyah Edwards would get switched on to Caitlin, and she held her own and was able to hold her down. So, yeah, man, it was just too much. It was going to take a Herculean effort from everyone on Iowa to to come away with this win. And with the experience of UConn, their coaching staff, they've been here before, they know what it takes. So it's nothing new to them. So they just said we're gonna execute and get these people out the way and move on. But yeah, it was a damn near flawless game for them. And they was in the second half they just ran away with it. The way they was moving the ball, the way they was defending, the way they was rebounding. It would have took a miracle for Iowa to get out this one alive. So yeah, man, Huskies keep dancing.
All right, on to another really good game. This was a great game between Baylor, which is a 2 seed, and Michigan, 6 seed. The Wolverines forced overtime, but they came up short. Turnovers really killed them, really killed them. Baylor executed better on both sides of the ball. Naylissa Smith, 24 points on 11-11 shooting from the floor. I think the only thing she missed was a free throw tonight. Could be wrong. Big game from Leah Brown to Michigan. She really stepped up with 23 points and 7 rebounds. But I want to get you guys take on it.
I just think they executed. Baylor executed down the stretch, especially late in the game, man. I'm not even gonna call her name. I don't know what the hell they was doing. Young lady was doing for Michigan overtime when they had a shot to try to tie it. She got the ball. She looked nervous as soon as she got the ball.
Yeah.
She really double dribbled and traveled and ain't call it. And she was so out of sorts because she was so worried about that. She just threw the ball away before she had plenty of time to gather and get a better shot from three to try to tie it. And she threw it up damn near from half court like the game was about to be over. And that was it. And that just kind of that summed up why they lost the close game, because when they needed to execute on either end to kind of get over their hump and kind of take out Baylor, they couldn't do it. And Baylor could. And it sometimes it just come down to a couple of possessions, and they were evenly matched. They was going back and forth, throwing haymakers, jabs, and they was connecting. It's just that Baylor hit Michigan a couple more times, and then that was it. I mean, I'm watching that last possession. I'm just like, man, she's gonna have nightmares all summer, man. Like you gotta be poised in that time. It don't make sense to be shook, man. And she had a lane to get a good shot, like, because Baylor was all over the place. They were scrambling, so make the ref call. If I don't hear a whistle, keep playing, dog. Like that's the name of the game. But you could tell she knew she traveled a double dribble, and she just tossed it up, man. It was just like, I was like, oh man, what is going on, man? So it is what it is, man. Baylor just executed better down the stretch in the clutch, and they survived.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to me that they were more comfortable in that situation than being, just like UConn, a team that's been before. I don't think it's a situation in the tournament that they haven't seen to this point. Especially with their coach. She's done it multiple times. Actually the defending champions from 2019. So. Just experience, execution. It looked like Naz Hillman was about to, do Naz Hillman things. She started off with 4 or 5 from the field. Dan Baylor was like, somebody else gonna have to do it. They sunk their defense in, and that was really kind of the end of her night, to be honest. But Leah Brown definitely stepped up. She almost got it done by herself. Going down the stretch, she had 11 points in like the last 10 minutes of the game. So she definitely made it interesting. But yeah, man, Baylor, they just were more poised when it counted. Dejanay Carrington, she had some huge momentum killing defensive plays for them. So yeah, man, the team that's been here before, they just got it done.
Yeah, it felt like it was a theme for some parts of the day. And just want to give a little bit of love to the Big Ten, because some folks don't watch it that much. Some Big Ten teams, again, you went the distance with Baylor, but yeah, you didn't get it done. But pretty good showing for some parts of the Big Ten, because some folks think the Big Ten is literally just Maryland and there's nothing really else in there. And there's some other things in there. But shout out to Michigan for the run. And Baylor, like you said, Dejanay Carrington, straps every time they needed to stop. She was running the other way. She was picking something off and going the other way. It felt like every single time. Last but not least, we got the first 1 seed that took an L, man. Indiana makes program history by upsetting North Carolina State to advance to the Elite Eight with the 73-70 win. They did what, like we just talked about with Michigan, they were able to finish the job. A little bit shaky at the end, but they finished the job. They stuck the landing. I just want to get you guys' take on that. This is their first trip to the Elite Eight. That's what was history making as a program. It's the first time they've advanced past around 16.
Mackenzie Holmes and Berger. They were the difference to me. I know Mackenzie Holmes, she fouled out, but she put Boyd from NC State on her heels. She went right at them, and she was cooking. She had 16 and 4, 8 or 13. 33 minutes. She got Boyd in a foul trouble because they couldn't guard her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But she fouled out. Just petty. Defended with her hands and stuff like that. And that's when Berger stepped up. In the third quarter, I feel that was the quarter that decided the game. Berger was money from mid range, coming off the screen. I mean, she was cooking NC State, and NC State didn't respond. They just didn't respond well. Even Boyd, she struggled. I mean, she didn't struggle shooting the ball, but she struggled getting to her spots to try to score. So she had to pass back out and rely on others. Shakia Brown Turner didn't play the normal game she normally does, and they needed her. Crutchfield played 40 minutes. I felt like she should have been more aggressive because she was pretty efficient. And they did Indiana starting five were just more well balanced. They executed better. They got their shots. They scored their points, especially down the stretch. That the way they were switching defense from man to man and the 2-3 zone late in the game, the fourth, it had NC State so confused, man. They didn't know if they should throw it in a post, in a roll, or just flat out shoot it when they were open. They were just. And one thing, they could not guard Indiana. It seemed like NC State had better athletes. Like Indiana kept just driving baseline free and getting layups. I'm like, what's going on? Like y'all, they like once they got past the first defender, nobody even rotated over to help. It was odd, man. Because when you watch NC State throughout the year, they don't allow that to happen, man. So, but. That was the Holmes effect, man. They were scared. They were scared to leave her, man. She was cooking. So, we talk about it, on the pro level, man. Sometimes dudes like, look, that's your man. You ain't about to have no muscle. I got cooked, so you best you can. It is, which is selfish defense, but that's what happened when the trust factor ain't there, man. You can tell that trust went away real quick, and when Holmes gave him a couple buckets. So, I mean, that's what it was, man. Indiana was just a better team tonight.
Right.
Yeah, out the gate, it looked like this thing was about to go as scheduled. NC State jumped out 7-0, but Indiana immediately responded with a 9-0 run of their own. Then I really think NC State got a little rattled and surprised because they, every time they made a move, Indiana hit them right back. So, I mean, it's probably something I don't know if it was something they didn't expect or they just weren't prepared for. But Indiana, they had a slow start. They were a little bit too reliant on the threes coming out. But once they settled down and got back to themselves, start getting that thing inside, start driving the ball, getting some easier looks. And they pretty much got into a groove, and NC State ain't had nothing for them. Like Cardell said, man, they were on their heels and they were just they looked like they were scared. They couldn't stick to their normal thing because they was just cooking, man. And it happens like that sometimes. Somebody get going and kind of give you something you wasn't expecting, and it's real hard to just adjust that way. So yeah, man, it's in this one and done style. It only take one game. It only take time to have one bad night and you can be at home, and that's pretty much what happened to NC State. Today, I'm pretty sure a lot of people expected them, to be around going down the stretch of this thing, but Indiana just got it done.
Yeah, it was a good win. Looking forward to a good day tomorrow. Another good day of basketball on both sides. You guys, anything else you wanted to add tonight?
No, because right now we got another game that's getting interesting.
Yes, we do.
Very interesting. So no, that was it.
We'll be back later tonight. If anybody watching, you're a Wizards fan, we'll be back later tonight for Wizards Outlook. Y'all have a great one. It's been Within the Madness, the women's edition. And we look forward to seeing you guys later tonight for Wizards Outlook and tomorrow for both Within the Madness or the men's and the women's sides of the bracket. And some things could be learned from the college team. Some things could be learned. Yeah. But another story for another day. Y'all have a great one for Cardell, Ray, and myself. See y'all later.